There's a bunch of crazy stories written by the Brothers Grimm. And now you're gonna learn all about them, listening to the Brothers Grimm.
Hola, bonjour, ciao, guten tag, and hello, students and scholars, friends and relations. Welcome to the Brothers Grimm podcast, where we discuss the collection of stories collected, curated, and published by the Brothers Grimm in the early 1800s in Germany, including this week's story, number 71, How Six Men Got On in the World. My name is Phil.
Yasu, my name is Mike.
Mike, how are you now?
I think I'm doing okay. It's getting a little warm around here.
That's nice.
Not for me. I like it chilly. End of October, early November is my perfect.
Yeah, no, well, we are New England men.
I like shorts and hoodie weather, like 40 degrees.
Well,
I am also doing well.
Oh, nice.
I have a garden party coming up.
Really?
Yes, in my neighborhood, we do a thing. We call it Thirsty Thursday.
We all take turns hosting.
From 6 to 8 on a Thursday, and you put out snacks, and then everyone brings a bottle. And so we're doing that. And then that night, after the party, running over to the Masonic Lodge, because it's our election night. I'm pretty sure I will be elected to a post, which is very exciting for me.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, actually, I'll probably be appointed more to the post, but I'd like to be there for that.
Yeah. Well, I hope it works out for you.
I think that it will. The Masons tend to be very choose your own level of involvement. I think.
Fair.
Like, so if you want to be something, you know what I mean, like an officer or something, it's more sort of like they're like, oh yes, wonderful, someone that can help out with some of this stuff.
Nobody's ever asked. Excellent.
I'm going to be excited about
Fantastic. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Now, we've known each other for a long time.
Yes.
Probably 30 years now, or close to it.
Something along those
28.
Sure.
I think I know the answer, but I just want to check. Do you have any superpowers?
No, I wouldn't call them superpowers in the traditional sense.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm very good at knowing if someone's into me.
Ooh.
I know instantly, which explains my proclivity back in the day of just knowing when someone's flirting just to flirt, but or someone's barely flirting but is actually interested.
As a serial monogamist, I feel like that would have been useful to me throughout my life.
I suppose. Although you eventually did, you were a serial monogamist, so you didn't necessarily need that. You're saying you didn't want to be a serial monogamist for like a year?
No, just like, yeah. I mean, there were a lot of times where I would have, deep crushes, but never did anything because, and always assumed that this person wasn't into me.
Well, I'm glad that you still managed to find quite a few very lovely women.
I did.
To date, and then eventually married one.
I did. The best one.
Yes. And I also married the best one of all of them. I think.
I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing just fine. But I digress. Let's get off of superheroes for just I'm going to say half a second. And if you do not mind, I shall take us through the plot of Grimm story number 71: How Six Men Got On in the World.
Do please.
Once upon a time, a very good soldier, well-read guy, knew all sorts of arts. But this guy gets dismissed from the army after the war is over and is given $3 and a kick out the door. So he's big mad. He says, "Mark my words, I shall get my revenge on thee." And off into the forest he goes. And the first thing he sees is a giant dude just plucking trees out of the ground. And he says, "Listen, mate, would you like to be my servant?" I don't know. I don't have to do an accent. "Listen, mate, you want to be my servant?" The guy says, "You son of a bitch, I'm in. Let me just bring these trees to my mom." So now he's got a servant. And then we do that 4 more times with 4 different types of people, but always the same. And he says to them, he sees them do something amazing, asks if they want to come with him, and they say yes, and then off they go. So now there's 6 of them. And one guy's a hunter with a gun, and he's a fantastic shot. He can shoot a fly a mile away. One guy can breathe super powerful breaths, powerful enough that he can make 7 windmills turn just by covering one nostril, blowing out the other. There's a really fast guy who can also take off his limbs. A kind of combination of the Flash and limb fall off boy. But when the limbs are on, he's the fastest guy ever.
Yeah,
and
he actually had to take his leg off to slow himself down.
So he could just walk normal. And then there's one guy that has a magic hat that just makes it very cold. And so off they go back to the castle, where it just so happens that the king has a deal where if someone can win a race against his daughter, he will let them marry her. But if they lose, he gets to kill them. So the leader
I wish
guy
I was a
says-
king.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good gig.
Well, we'll see how it works out for everyone in this story, because it seems like a good gig. But
True,
there's
you
a
would
lot
think.
of you can never marry your daughter off. It's really hard. You have to find someone that's like really good at skipping stones or something
But often you get to behead a lot of dudes.
for the amusement of your not psychotic daughter and your who you've raised, because you are also a crazy person. Leader guy says, okay, but running man guy is going to be my proxy. King says, fine. So they have a race. At one point, the runner, way in the lead, decides to take a nap. Princess almost gets to the finish line, but the but the hunter sees him taking a nap. He takes a shot at him. Doesn't hurt him, but he wakes him up. Guy wakes up. He looks. He's like, oh, well, better get going. And so takes off running. Easily beats the girl. Now the king and the princess are annoyed. So they start him with the challenges. Challenge 1, survive the room. He gets them all in an iron jail cell, which he just happens to have set up like this, which can be heated up like an oven because cook's underneath it. They can just light a big fire underneath this jail cell. But luckily, the guy with the magic hat is there, so he just cools down the room. And the king's really annoyed now. Finally, the king says, look, man, I don't care what I said. You're not marrying my daughter. So how about I just give you some money to go away, carry as much as you can. And that suits everyone just fine because the strongest man in the world is there with them. So they carry all of the king's money away. King's pissed. And when they're all walking away, he's like, you know what? No, screw it. I know I said that, but I don't care anyways. And he sends 2 regiments to kill them, fetch the gold back. But the dude is with them who can blow really hard, saves the day, blows away the soldiers. And the 6 now rich men divvy up the money, live happily ever after. And the king is just like, you know what? They win. They deserve it. The end. Do you have a grade?
I feel like I'm kind of in like the B plus A minus range here. I feel like I'm giving everything a B plus lately.
That's been B plus stories.
Yeah,
I think.
fair.
I gave this one a B.
All right.
I like the idea of the team up, and I think it's very creative with the powers.
Yeah.
It seems like it's not, because we've been raised on comic books. Who do you have on your team? Well, we got one quick guy. We got one guy with angel wings, and one guy that can fucking whatever. So that all seems very, very clever, but it doesn't get like an A or an S. But if Avengers has taught me anything, it's that in order for me to actually care, I need to have a story for each of these guys first, and then you team them up for the one big heist.
Right. Like, what if these were all characters from prior stories? And just randomly they had like a team up in this, around story 70.
Oh
70
my God.
No, 71, yeah.
A little bit. I think there's been stories where it's like random people from Grimm show up.
We've had Simpleton show up a few times.
Add music and you got Into the Woods.
It's a good idea, though. I think that we should do. We should find the best, the best weird ones of the bunch. 9 different versions of God sitting, chucking apples at people or whatever. Do you have a moral?
I could not come up with a moral to save my life for this one.
Well, that's an easy one. It's a gimme.
Make friends?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, fair.
You know.
I think what bothered me about this one is there was no explanation as to why these dudes were just like, yeah, and I'll be your servant. Like, he wasn't even like, do you want to be friends? He's just like, do you want to be my servant?
Well, yeah, I agree. I joked earlier that people were like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. But that was, he gave nothing. It wasn't like, I've got a really good idea.
Right. I'm mad at the king.
We can rob the king blind. But I need to form a team. Jesus Christ, speaking of Rick and Morty. It reminded me a little bit of the Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which again was sort of a deconstruction of the idea, superhero teams. Do you remember that movie?
I think I watched it once, like back in the HBO days. All I remember is the guy with the mustache, and that's it. Maybe a hot air balloon.
Yeah, it was Terry Gilliam. There's a ton of people, old pythons and other really famous people in for like little bit parts. But the idea is the same, except that he had like a superhero team of sort of normal humans, but one guy that could run really fast, so fast that he had to put a cannonball attached to his ankles just so that he would be normal speed.
All right.
All guy, like one really strong guy. And I think they did the same thing now that I think about it. I'm like sure of it. They had the really strong guy hold as much gold as he could on his back.
Really?
Now it's 30 years later, but they've all aged. So they're all ridiculous, very Terry Gilliam nonsense thing, but I absolutely adored it. And starring, Eric Idle's in it. Uma Thurman's in it. That might have been her first actual role. It's released in like 1989.
Oh yeah, so I'm reading that Gottfried August Berger interpolated an adaptation of this tale into his version of the Baron Munchausen stories.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like it was inspired by or based upon.
Fantastic. All right, good for me. It only took us 70 stories, and I'm starting to actually make real connections when I'm reading something. I'm like, this reminds me so much of that Baron Munchausen.
But like the guy at the center of it, like, what's his power? Is it charisma?
Charisma.
Is it
leading.
revenge?
There was a game. It was an X-Men game, kind of like a hack and slash type of thing. Yeah, both Professor X and Cyclops. One of their secondary powers was leadership. And
Okay.
but it was just fine. If they were there, they would like boost the powers a little bit of everyone else on the team. Guy. Well, yeah, I guess he's got Cyclops' power is that he's got a very good gun.
I guess, yeah.
That can't actually like shoot someone. He just knock people out.
He's also whiny.
He's whiny. Yeah.
I inherited I have a friend who's big into X-Men, and I inherited from her a distaste of James Marsden and Cyclops. And so it's just stuck with me through the years. So I think I was saying recently, I was doing research and I came across what's the Japanese Nickelodeon Grimm show? It was Grimm Fairy Tale Classics.
Grimm Fairy Tale Classics.
I don't remember this at all from when I was a kid, but I came across an episode of this story. And I didn't see the whole thing, but I watched a good chunk of it. And it was, very entertaining.
Super good.
It was a little different too. Like I was watching, so there's, you didn't get into too much of the detail, but like the foot race. So they're supposed to go to a well with a pitcher and fill it up from that well and then bring it back. And the runner guy, he goes and he's so fast. He goes and fills it up and he's coming back and he starts to get tired. So he lays down to take a nap, but he puts a horse's skull under his head as a pillow. So it'll be uncomfortable so that he won't sleep for too long and he'll wake up and still be able to win the race. The girl gets her water. She comes back. She finds the guy sleeping and she goes, oh, this is too good. Dumps his pitcher out on the ground and then takes off, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then in this one, like in the animated version, there was even more like weird dude that was like sabotaging everything also. And so she was like in on that. This soldier and his 5 friends sort of like triumph over a despot.
Like, I suppose we can say sinister because I think that the plan was, okay, my daughter's really good at running. If he loses the race, we just kill him. But even if he wins, we'll just cook him in our oven that we made.
Yeah.
The human-sized oven that we made, where you think you're going to a dinner party, but really you're going into like a giant oven. She doesn't want to get married, but I think that, her and her dad are, they're like, we just love murdering.
Right, yeah. This is our whole thing. We're just going to lure people here. You're fast as hell, my wonderful daughter. So let's lure people here on the auspices of a foot race. We'll pretend that we're going to give you away. But there's nobody that's going to lose to you. So we'll just do that, and then we just get to pay head dudes all the time, like at least a couple a week.
This reminds me of there's like in the Old West in Kansas in like the late 1800s, so not too long after this. There was, I think it was the Bender family, it was called. And like, because I don't want to be wrong on the internet, but yeah. Anyways, so these guys, they were some they came into the country supposedly, set up shop, and then every once in a while, like a weary traveler would come in late at night, and they'd invite him, and they'd be like, okay, and you're gonna sit in the chair of honor, and you'll have dinner with us. It'll be great. And then they would sit him in this one chair that had a door behind it, and then someone would just come with a hammer and just kill him with a hammer. And I think it was
that kind of party.
I think it was the Benders. I think that was the name of they were like this American family of serial killers from like way back, like way back.
Huh.
Any of our fans want to weigh in on that, by all means.
Yeah, please.
Mike, do you have any more notes?
I don't. I do have a pitch though.
Oh, I would love to hear it.
All right. This might shock you.
Okay.
But it's It's kind of a cross between the X-Men, the Boys, and a little Deadpool 2.
Okay. And
which I actually
Ocean's
haven't
11.
seen,
I
but
mean,
in my
I got
research
Ocean's 11,
to write this, yeah.
Oh, wait, Deadpool 2?
Yeah. So I was realizing, like, I was like, oh, this is like the Avengers or the X-Men. So I just kind of spun that out. I was looking for a comic book character who has no powers, who wants to be a superhero. And that's actually a plot point in Deadpool 2. There's this guy, Peter Wisdom, who it turns out canonically does have powers in the comics. But not in Deadpool 2. He's just like a Joe Schmo that answered the ad that Deadpool put out to form X-Force.
Yes.
And they're like, what are your powers? He's like, I don't have any. I just saw the ad. And he's like, all right.
Seemed like a good fun time, yeah.
Spoiler alert, he gets killed on the first mission.
As do they all, as I recall.
Yeah. So Peter's down on his luck. He tried out for the Avengers, but without powers, they just let him down gently.
They don't even let him be like a janitor.
Yeah, he can't even be like a mascot. So he's on his way home. He's in the subway waiting for a train. The young kid falls on the tracks. There's panic and commotion. The train's approaching. The kid's foot is stuck. Suddenly, this big guy comes out of the crowd and jumps down. He helps the kid free his foot, passes him up to the bystanders just as the train comes rushing to the station, brakes shrieking. Everyone screams, but the train only slides another 100 feet or so to the end of the platform. In front of the train is the same big guy, but his skin has become steel bands, and he is unharmed. Moreover, he's stopped the train. Peter's amazed. He tells the guy his whole story about being rejected from the Avengers and suggests that maybe this guy can help. Nothing better to do, so he agrees. Secretly, this is Colossus. There's no X-Men in this. No X-Men in this world. So they head out into the city. They hear sirens and alarms. In the opposite corner, there's a bank and a standoff. This is like totally out of a comic book. Action on every panel.
Sure.
It's a burly bank thief. He's got a bank teller hostage, shouting he's going to kill her if anybody makes a move. Police all slowly drop their weapons. The man and the bank teller are briskly walking away when suddenly the man's head explodes, leaving the poor woman covered in blood and brain matter, but otherwise unharmed. A portal opens, and through it walks this man with close-cropped white hair, a gleaming silver arm, a huge rifle, and a bionic eye.
Oh.
It's Cable.
Yeah, no, I know. Exciting.
The cops start accusing him of endangering the hostage, but he gruffly explains that he shot the guy from 8 blocks away and he never saw it coming. Peter, of course, is astonished. He and the metal guy go over, explain his Avengers problem, and this guy begrudgingly agrees to help as well. On they go. They come across a woman on a rooftop. She has long white hair, glowing eyes, and her arm is outstretched towards the horizon. Confused, they ask her what she's doing. The woman calmly explains that she's powering some windmills at a wind farm 2 miles offshore.
Sure.
Peter is certain that she can help with this problem, too. He explains, and she reluctantly agrees to come along. This, of course, is Storm. Closest I could get to, like, breath power. So along the way, they're walking. There's a sudden gust of wind from behind. This is where I started to get tired of writing this. Sudden gust of wind from behind. They all look to the aloof woman, but she shrugs and says it's not her. They keep going, but before long, it happens again and again. The man with the rifle suddenly throws out his mechanical arm just as another burst of wind comes. A man appears, irate. "What are you doing? I'm running here!" exclaims to the man with the mechanical arm. Clearly, this is the fastest man in the world, aka Quicksilver. Peter proposes he joins them to help him with this Avengers problem. After calming down a bit, he agrees also. This is where it really goes off the rails. A little further along, they come across a man just selling cold drinks. Strange party's not towing a cooler or a cart or anything. He just pulls them out of a grocery bag, and in an instant, they're super cooled to the perfect temperature.
Oh, perfect.
This would be Iceman.
Yep.
Group asks how he does that. He shows him he can simply generate cold from his skin. Amazed, Peter asks him to join, and he goes along too. Finally, they reach Avengers Tower. The man with the cold powers creates an ice path straight up to the landing up top, so the strong man can walk up there because he can't fly. The woman who can control the weather does fly. She floats on up on invisible drafts. The fast guy zips into the lobby and up the 93 flights of stairs. And the man with the bionic eye brings Peter through a portal to the top where they all meet. What happens to this Peter guy? Like, maybe they're like, well, let's test you. And so, like, they expose him to some cosmic radiation and he just dies. And the rest of these guys go off and form X-Men or X-Force or whatever.
That guy sucked and he was bossy.
Did he tell you he had any powers? Because he didn't tell me he had any powers.
I didn't hear anything about no powers, but now that I'm looking at us, what do we got here? Iceman, Storm, Colossus, Quicksilver, and Cable. I'd buy that.
Yeah, I don't think Cable was ever an X-Men, but yeah, close enough.
Yeah, maybe not. That's a good team up though.
Yeah, it's sort of just like a comic booky. Yeah. The guy reminded me of Huey from The Boys. That's where that came from.
I've never seen The Boys.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No.
You should probably check it out. At least like the first couple seasons. If you like Carl Urban, it is Carl Urban at his finest.
I don't know a lot of actor names, but so I don't know who Carl Urban is. But
did you watch Ragnarok?
Yes.
After Heimdall gets killed. He's guarding the Rainbow Bridge, and he's just got like 2 machine guns, and he just has like chicks there, like check. It's like he turns into a man cave. Anyway, very funny character. His character in The Boys is arguably the best thing about that show. Go watch it; it's good.
All right, yeah, no,
Do you know the premise?
Superheroes are made from a pharmaceutical company,
Pretty much,
and they're kind of dicks.
Yep.
And some people are like, we should go kill those dicks.
Yeah, they're like, it's like there's no concern about collateral damage or anything. In the very beginning, this guy Huey, who's just like a regular guy, he's holding his girlfriend's hands as they're like smooching, and she's going off to work or something, and all of a sudden she just explodes in this cloud of mist, and he's just holding 2 hands, and it's like A-Train, the world's fastest man, just like ran through her without even realizing it. And he just gets like 50 feet away, and he turns back. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I gotta go." It just like takes off, and Huey's just like standing there covered in blood, holding just 2 hands.
Okay. Anyways, well, do you have anything else?
No, I think we're pretty off the rails.
Yeah. We went off the rails quite a while ago, I think, but that is quite all right.
Good.
Well,
That's why we're here, honestly.
oh, absolutely. No, I understand. Well, if I do not have anything else to say and you do not have anything else to say, I think we can probably call it.
Indeedy.
How, if someone wanted to find us on the internet, how might they be able to do that?
At brothersdim.com. We've got all our episodes there. I'm hoping to put up some extras soon, maybe some of these pitches. You can email us at brothersdimpodcast@gmail.com, and we're on Blue Sky at brothersdim.
Well then, friends and relations, my students and scholars, it has been a pleasure bringing you Grimm Story 71, How 6 Men Got On in the World. Sleep tight, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.